As I take down the last parts of 2019, it's kind of time to reflect back on all the amazing experiences I got to have during the year. And of course, a lot of those involve running. The year started off with hope and disappointment. Hope in that I had started with the Golden Hawk and was pretty excited about the consistency, particularly since it was the first year for the Golden Hawk, being able to do it. But my very first race out of the gate in January 2019 was a DNF at Bandera. That gave me some good reflection about not taking training for granted and working on the mental toughness a little bit more. And of course, one of the greatest moments of the year was winning Pi Day. I think there were about 11 or 12 of us signed up to do the answer to everything, and the weather was just so miserable that only 3 of us pushed on to complete that half marathon at the end. And Tony Brown, Michelle Weaver, and me. And it was great to be able to have the best time combined out of that, but instantly felt a bond with those other 2 in that there were only 3 of us on the planet that could complete the Golden Hawk at the maximum distance. Turns out only 1 of us did, and bravo to Michelle for pulling that off. And of course, 2019 had a couple of beer miles in it. Although this year I only ran 4, it was just the ones out at Schaus. And, although the winter one was my 100th bar, and that was a pretty cool celebration. Of course, some of the most fun I had this year was crewing and pacing. I volunteered to pace at the Chocolate Rush Half Marathon and at the Garmin Marathon in the spring with Smart Pacing. But it's really fun to crew and pace individuals, and so I had the honor and the pleasure to crew and pace Jerry out at Burning River in Ohio, and then helped Yvonne with her race after I DNF'd at the Hawk, and then crewed and paced Peter at Heartland 100 and Renita down at OT 100. All great experiences. And of course, one of the best experiences of the year was finishing my second 100-miler. I went from being a guy who's run 100 miles to a true 100-mile runner. Kettle Moraine was an amazing race. It was really fantastic. And the other great part about it was that was the race that helped me finish the New Hampshire Compulsion. So really big win in the summertime. And of course, one of the crappiest moments of the year was the announcement that Run 816 was closing. I think a lot of the emotion we all felt was best summed up by my friend Colleen. Gutted in so many ways. Gutted for you guys, gutted for the community you built, gutted that an independent, amazing, knowledgeable store can't make it these days. What we have lost is immeasurable. Love you both and your incredible hearts so much. really wish Nick and Tracy all the best and want to thank them for everything they did to build our amazing community and all the great memories and service they provided. In addition to Kettle Moraine, I did have a couple other big successes for the year. One was rising from the dead at the Nighthawk, and big kudos to Yvonne, who stayed with me and let me get some nutrition back in myself and be able to finish those last 4 miles pretty good. The second part is what I call my Golden Phoenix race, which was Sanders Sumter, and after having DNF'd the Hawk and having to be out of the Golden Hawk, I got my leg taken care of. I got some rest. I engaged the coaching services of Colleen and Leia and started building back some strength and had a really strong finish at Sanders Saunter. It was one of my best 50Ks yet. And then went to St. Louis and visited with my family, and my sister was going to be running a 5K, and so she said, hey, would you like to run a race with me? And I said, that sounds delightful. And so I ran the Santa 10K there, the Candy Cane 10K, and finished second place, fastest 10K ever. That felt pretty good. One of my favorite things out of 2019 was the number of self-supported long runs I did and the number of fat asses I participated in. Fat ass is all of the community with the race without any of the rigmarole. There's no fees, there's no t-shirts, there's no medals, there's no start, finish. Well, there is a start and finish, but it's kind of much more casual. And had some great ones. Started with the half-ass birthday frozen ass in February out at Lake Clinton. Wonderful snow-covered trails. Then Danny's Defeat Cancer fat ass, and that was just a week before the Hawk birthday fat ass. And at the Hawk birthday fat ass, I got my Hawk name, which was a pretty cool experience. I waited 3 years as a Hawk member before I got my Hawk name, and Kara and Ashley did an amazing job of processing through that, asking me great questions, and they put together a wonderful list of names that really made it difficult for me to choose. But ultimately, I chose Bar Hawk as my Hawk name because bar is just such an active part of my life. And then Og this year, because of my injury, coming off my injury from the Hawk, really felt more like a fat ass than like a race. I just treated it that way and had a fun time running with everybody. But the most wonderful fat ass of the year was Winter Shoustis. Holy cow, Paul put together just an amazing event there, and what a glorious day of running and fun and beer drinking that was. Thinking about how much I enjoyed those fun activities and those self-supported long runs, looking forward to 2020, I hope it's going to be filled with a few less races to make room for a lot more adventures.